Welcome to Startup Wins. Twice a month, we share real stories and smart tips. Subscribe and join the journey.
In today's digital age, LinkedIn stands as the undisputed titan of professional networking. If your work involves any level of professional engagement, whether you're steering a startup or serving as a chief legal counsel for a Fortune 500 company, LinkedIn has become an essential tool in your arsenal. The platform's growth is nothing short of remarkable. As we move through 2025, LinkedIn is rapidly approaching the milestone of 1 billion members worldwide, with over a third of them actively engaging on the platform across 200 countries in 24 languages. But are you truly harnessing that power? If you've been posting content only to encounter the deafening silence of zero engagement, or if you're a founder wondering why your startup's presence isn't gaining traction, today's episode will be transformative. Our guest expert will unveil the critical mistakes most startup leaders make on the platform and provide clarity on which premium services actually deliver value. Insights that completely changed my own approach. And what I did is I mistakenly invested in some of the wrong features. Today, we're thrilled to welcome our first ever guest from Australia, Nguyen, whose international expertise spans multiple continents. Her remarkable journey and global perspective will provide you actionable strategies to revolutionize your LinkedIn presence, regardless of your industry or location. So we're excited to learn more about what you're doing today and also the coolest things that you know about on LinkedIn. And since our show just kind of started, what I'd like to do is I'm going to just talk about it a little bit. But our Startup Wins is hopefully going to be everybody's favorite destination when it comes to startups and entrepreneurial activity. We'll try to make it the best. But why? Well, because when I was listening to podcasts personally, I didn't feel a lot of value out of the podcast because when I would finish listening to them, I didn't feel like I had a lot of actionable advice. And that's what we're going to be talking to you here today, String, is like what kind of things should these people do, i.e. the startup founders, the VCs or whatever, and kind of use a little bit of your expertise and understand what you've learned over the years. So with that said, let's get on to you. So tell us a little bit. So what's going on these days with you?
I was killing it on LinkedIn during COVID, and then that's when everyone was online. So I was making 200K. Like that, that's traction, right? Within 2 years, I was making about 200, 300K. But the funny thing was like another startup came onto my lap, and you go where the product market fit is, or you have where the opportunity lies. So I thought I had product market fit with the trusted voice, which is helping a lot of founders, experts, and professionals leverage LinkedIn, and LinkedIn was starting to pick up that time. So I was one of the early OGs, killing it on LinkedIn, on video and everything like that, and helping others do that as well. And then I got jumped into NFT, and I had a tsunami opportunity, a liquidity event. Like, how like everyone's like always looking for, because I grew up poor or in a housing commission or one of those places and stuff. So I was always like thinking that like the best opportunities is like running your own startups. It's even 9 to 5, but you need a high income. And I realized I wasn't really good at working for the man. And I wanted to be the man, be my own boss.
Sure.
And so I did that, and we generated with the NFT brand about $3.4 million in a 3-month campaign.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really good returns and stuff. And then, funnily enough, it's last year I get in pings from my old community members asking me to come back. Because LinkedIn, funny enough, even with AI and everything like that, even though I just noticed like the saying LinkedIn hasn't changed, even though it's like a monolith, I feel like the slower they are, the more opportunities you have. And this is where all the decision makers are using it. And so I rebooted the trusted voice again. But I did it in a way that's a lot more smarter, leveraging the things that I learned in my previous startups. And now like I have like members coming in, and we're using AI to generate marketing and sales while we're building up your personal brand.
I see. So you're doing more than just the personal branding. Is you're giving.
Yeah, because people come to me because I noticed like at the end of the day, like if you're a founder, you have to build up relationships and sales. If you're a business owner, you need to generate leads and sales. So for them, they have to have some kind of ROI. So I don't want to be a personal brand that teaches you how to do marketing. I feel like I've been able to increase retention by implementing sales tactics into the workshops and practical tips as well.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Well, I mean, I met you on Clubhouse, right? So at the
That
time,
was during COVID. Yes, that was
right?
when before like the takeoff happened for me. Yes.
Well, I mean, when I met you, it seemed like you were the LinkedIn guru at the time. I mean, you were a top voice, or what do they call it on LinkedIn?
Yeah, well, it's like the blue badge. I guess it's I generate about 1 or 2 million views per year, like easily sometimes, and I get like 9,000 profile views and stuff. So I was like killing it on LinkedIn, but I feel like I didn't leverage the attention properly at all. It's what I know now, I would have like killed it even more on LinkedIn.
Well, how did you learn that? I mean, tell us a little bit of the origin story of jumping into LinkedIn.
Oh, you probably know Meerkat, right? Do you remember Meerkat?
I don't actually. Can you remind us?
So it's like a live streaming platform that had its like 5 minutes of fame, and I was able to monetize it by sending emojis, or people gave me emojis, and that each emoji contained Bitcoin. So I was monetizing by connecting it through Meerkat and Twitter. So when we tweet out, it kind of like triggers a monetization tipping system within this like live streaming platform. And then Periscope came and that killed it. And then Twitter got acquired Periscope. So then but I was able to build up my network, and through that, I was like the top 25 live streamer, and I was able to tap into Silicon Valley at that time. So I was like exposed to startup world. And interestingly enough, one of them was like a big patron for founders, and it's called Founder Jojo. So I flew over to America and hanged out in San Francisco rent free for 6 months.
Wow.
In Dog Patch, like, that was my exposure to startup world. And then because of that, people thought I was a content creator based in America. Then I got invited to be a beta tester for LinkedIn live streaming platform. That's when I started blowing up there as well. And I realized like, because there's not a lot of content creators, it's like really a great way to like speed run opportunity and leverage attention. And I was like live streaming, building up momentum, interviewing like Southwest founders, like because I traveled a lot, so I just like started like interviewing really cool people, and that's how I was able to build up really fast momentum, and got exposed to LinkedIn, and then became a content creator at the same time, an influencer.
That's amazing. I always thought that interviewing, celebrities or very well-known people is a good strategy. So it sounds like it did really well for you. Can I ask, even though you had a lot of luck, it sounds like from, event to event, was there anything else that you did in order to get a hold of these folks? Or do you think they just thought you were some amazing content creator?
Well, I actually cold DM them. I didn't even know what I did was cold DM. Somehow I was able to, because I think I had some momentum happening on LinkedIn, and I had a good portfolio of decent people who I was interviewing. So I name dropped, and I gave them, it's like, hey, I'm going to be in this town for these days. These are the people thing. I interviewed, like I did research about them. It's like, I'm happy to like go early, whatever, come to you. Can I just have half an hour of your time to just hang out with you and interview you? So I was able to I think I had like a 95% conversion rate.
Oh, wow.
But even if they said no, it doesn't matter, because like if I go to Austin, I like try to ping 4 people, and a lot of them said yes to me. And I think the FOMO of me not being like there for a couple of days and be okay to come to them early in the morning or something like that, or based on their time, made it work for me in terms of like flexibility and stuff like that. And I think they appreciated I was a go-getter a little bit and didn't waste their time.
You're very efficient and very professional.
Yeah,
Great.
my emails are always 4 lines long.
4, that's it.
Yes.
And how did you do that heart thing? It just
I
happened.
don't know. I reckon it was like a trigger. So it's like a
Interesting.
Zoom field.
I did not know that existed. Mine is not
like
working.
it's a heart. You have to do a heart.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that reminds me of Meerkat days because I remember like.
Well,
Yeah,
tell us about Meerkat. I swear to God, I don't know anything about this thing. What is Meerkat?
Meerkat is like a mobile live streaming platform that exploded during South by Southwest. I don't know what year is it, 2017, 2015? I can't remember. Now I have to look it up, but it's just Periscope.
Well, I mean, people know Periscope, I think, for the most part, so that reference is good. Speaking of live stream, though, what is it? LinkedIn has their version. What's their version called again?
LinkedIn Live.
Yeah, LinkedIn Live. I haven't seen you do much of that. Is that something?
Because it doesn't work.
Why?
It doesn't work.
Why is that?
It's a waste of time for me because it doesn't convert well.
Ah, interesting. So if have you tried?
Yeah, but I didn't see any momentum behind it, so I stopped. Okay. Just like I'm not hanging out on threads because I usually give things about a 30-day experiment. But if there's no momentum, I stop.
Oh, interesting. No, do you know Amelia? I don't know what her last name is. She seems to be pretty active she does it every Thursday. I'm curious why. I mean, she's definitely very popular with her posts and whatnot. And speaking of, let's talk about that if you don't mind. So posts are what the everyday professional, from founder to VC to whoever, do on LinkedIn in order to potentially drive either business.
No, I think most people, there are 2 types of creators: the one who lurks and consumes, and one who creates. And the one who lurks and consumes, that it's probably like 80% of them are lurkers and 20% on people who are active on LinkedIn, and who are active creators on LinkedIn usually post about 2. I don't even call once a week posters enough because it doesn't really trigger the algorithm. But if you do it like 2 or 3 times, that's enough for you to get some traction on LinkedIn.
So 2 to 3 times a week.
Yes.
So I saw an infographic, which I didn't check the source, but it said 1 to 2 times a day. Is that too much?
Yeah, but if you have less than 1,000 followers, does that make sense to like bombard them twice a day?
Interesting. So personally, I can't remember what my number is. It's like 5,000 or 6,000, but that isn't, I mean, to me, it wasn't followers. Those were just connections that I had made over time. And a lot of it seems like spam these days.
But I think the engagement rate for your one is really low. So I feel like, you haven't really, it says like your content is not resonating with your current connections.
So do you have some tool that's telling you this, or are you just seeing?
No, I'm just looking at your proful. Like I don't.
I see. I see.
I'm just I am the data or the analyst.
Well, I mean, I got to be honest. I'm not trying because there's 2 things. One is I kind of understand the algorithm. Like I figured out every algorithm that I've ever had to play with, but I won't do some of the things that are required with the algorithm because I just don't feel the need that I need to execute on anything there. But secondly, I say some controversial / unwell or not the best written statements, and I know it won't resonate. It only resonates with maybe a handful of people, so it won't be like 50 likes.
But that's strategic, right? Because you want to filter out people.
No, very much. I'm actually happy with the one or she might get excited about or whatever,
Yeah, but that's like surfacing intent, right? A lot of people, when they create content or something like that, I noticed like it's like, oh, LinkedIn doesn't work for me. You get a lot of spams in DM. I get them too. I screenshot it because I built up a library of bad DMs. So I could show it to my members on what not to do.
Okay.
And they're, funnily enough, I tell them that they still do it because they think they only have one time to catch their attention. You have a marketing background, so people who, when they start off with, they kind of like machine gun, spray it everywhere.
Yeah.
Thinking that like hopefully one catches.
Yeah.
And if you don't, whereas like the smart strategic ones is like they know who their ICP is or their target market is, and they think about the buyer journey a lot more. And on LinkedIn, like I have like a really good conversion. Like I don't even do sales regularly because like I'm more of a product person, or I love developing product. But apparently I'm good at sales because once I start campaigns every quarter or something like that, I have a really good hit rate. It's like about 65%. What I do is like I already know there's already people around me who want to work with me.
Yeah.
It's just surfacing those like intent and who are ready for me, because it's like what I do is like create content and it's like cooking the pain and playing the FOMO game a little bit. And then like talk to DMs and try and then sometimes I don't even jump on calls with them if it's like, because like if anything's $1,000 for me, it's just DMs and emails. And if it's like a more, you know, like a high ticket one, that's when I jump on calls.
Interesting. You're black and white. You're a lot more black and white than I realized. So you.
Oh, most people think I'm chill, like, you know, like, but when I'm a marketer, I'm very. It's good to be black and white because I just look at numbers.
Interesting. And how long have you been in this business, I guess?
Well, I think I kind of hyper accelerated when I got into the startup world because I was a content creator and I noticed a gap in financial literacy and my business acumen. But I was really good at storytelling and engaging people's attention and things. And then I started applying for grants, but I win some and I didn't win some. And then I realized it's because they asked me who my target market is. And then I got into it. It's like, oh, you know, saying everyone is not targeted, which is a 101 mistake, right? That everyone's like, oh, they're always hedging the bets with everyone. But you need to find, if you look, for me, it's like, because I know who my target market is, I could spot them really quickly.
And who is your
that job sick? Oh, it's usually founders, VCs, advisors, people with like consultancy money and like based in Singapore, Australia, and USA seem to be the highest conversion countries.
Oh, interesting.
Anywhere else can't afford me. Oh, most places. Because I get a lot of Philippines and Indians coming in because of a recent viral post. They always ask me job seeking advice, and it's like I don't do resumes or profiles like that. And then I just like move them into things, but it kind of shows like but once you put them into the buying funnel, you start like diluting your content and your business model too. So I'm okay to lose that money for job seekers because I don't want to position myself there.
Sure. No, that makes sense. It makes sense. I would do the same, to be honest. So I get that. Yeah.
Because it's being strategic, right? We only have a certain amount of time and resources. Why like waste our time in focusing on people who will give us money? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, 100%. So let's say a founder is fascinated with your content online and they approach you, and what's the first thing you usually see in founders that they fail to do?
Well, LinkedIn kind of for founders and salespeople or sales-focused people, they still treat their LinkedIn as like a resume profile, as if they're a job seeker. So they list out all of their titles, but it should be set up in a way that it's set up like a sales page, selling the dream, selling something, right? And I think a lot of people get uncomfortable about selling, or they have a lack of clarity about where they position themselves. And when there's a lack of clarity, they don't know how to like pitch themselves or how to position themselves in a way that says like, I'm the expert, you should talk to me. Like, you know, you increase your signals to convert. And I think that one of the reasons why I was able to convert really well is because I have one door and you have a lot of interest. You and I were talking about real estate, we were talking about startups, we were talking about dev houses, but there's always this one door that everyone comes to you for? Do you know what that one door is for you? Like if everyone calls you up, Brendan, what do they usually ask you about?
Well, they're not typically asking me for it, but what I typically like to do the most is connect people. Or I see some sort of, what I call synergy. And when I realize, because I mean, the biggest thing that I love to do is just help people. It's just something that's, down deep is I really enjoy like mentorship and things like that. So I would say that that's probably the best thing that I do. But as far as SEO or those kind of skills, yeah, I mean, people do come to me for SEO, but I've also let that go because a majority of the people who actually need SEO will never invest the time or will do what's necessary to do it effectively. Like when I was at Amazon, for example, Bezos, in essence, was an SEO. People didn't realize it, right? Because so he put everything into it, and that's why they were number one in the world when it came to that. So I would say that's my answer is SEO as far as like professional skills, but as far as like, I don't know, just what I really truly believe I'm good at and want to do is help people through connections, I guess.
Do people pay for you for it though?
No, they don't. Well, I have a very long-term strategy. Like this is not, I mean, I can't deny that a lot of these relationships will not someday convert. And what I mean is, like, for example, I just had a call today with somebody who helped me connect with two startup founders. And I thank her to this day profusely for how kind she was. And she's just really savvy. We just had a catch-up call today. But during the call, right at the end, I just said, Lauren, you know what? We should talk more about this venture capital firm that I'm trying to build because I want her to be a part of the team. So the point is that a lot of the connections that I make and a lot of the people that I meet, there will be some reason why potentially later down the road, because the other thing I forgot, String, and I put you in this category, by the way, is I only want to work with good peoples. I don't want to work with anybody else. I don't want to work with people who make this world worse, right? And as a result, I always try to surround myself and stay connected with those good peoples. And, at some point later down the road, like, maybe I'll pitch you or something like that and say, hey, do you want to be a part of this venture capital firm or whatever the case may be? So I'm more long-term strategy in that.
If that's the case, you still need to position yourself as like a credible person within the VC space, and you have access to funds for people, because like money is like a carrot stick, right?
Sure.
For example, a lot of people have the thing about humans is, and I love them to bits, and I also think they are dummy.
Right.
Like that's an interesting paradox. I'm dumb in a lot of things as well, so I'll admit that as well, just to like play around with it.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people have a lot of interest, and that's okay. But there's always this one door that people come to you for and willing for money you at. And that's like, whether it be a consultant, like if you have to be a consultant and charge for MLA, but what are people willing to pay you for? And I've realized it's like this concept of like a hotel or even a hospital. When you go to a hospital, you go to emergency room, there's always a nurse triaging you to prioritize you to see if you need to like have if you high priority, low priority, because the hospital is like vast behind it. They offer so many services, right?
Right.
But the person that come to them are dummies. They don't know what they want. So she has to find out the signals is like high priority, low priority, and things like that. But everyone knows, oh, I'm hurt, I go to emergency. And I think marketing is like that in many ways. Or like, I know I am in pain, but I don't know the solution. I hope String is that solution,
right,
for like marketing and personal branding on LinkedIn. But when people come behind their door, they realize it's like, oh, String offers a lot more than just like personal branding. You could leverage her for product and talk about like, because I'm really good at product and business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And and then I know how to position people. Like I could sit and listen to someone's bullshit for 3 hours and like declutter. You could do that with ChatGPT, but I feel like a lot of people don't ask that right questions. So
very much so.
And that's what people pay you for. It's like if you know how to position yourself, like if you're a good networker, that's good. That's a big plus sign for VC. But you have to also position yourself in a way that's like Andrew Chen, he's like an author. He works for one of the best VC funds, but also he's an influencer and creator himself. So even if he leaves that world, he could the advantage of building a strong personal brand and influence is and you have to be one these days for distribution rights.
I agree.
Like even if you develop a product, but if you have bad distribution, you won't win.
No, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a ton of sense. Okay, so these founders fail at being able to communicate their value proposition, and also they don't use their LinkedIn profile more than a resume. How long do they need to work with you, or how long, or what do they need to do?
Well, I find that they get clarity within 2 weeks. Oh, because I use the profile as an exercise to help them gain clarity. And usually the people who have unclear clarity take 6 months or multiple attempts because they're not focused enough. So to me, it's like a signal of oh, do they have their shit together?
Right.
So, if they have their positioning correct, which is the value prop, or they know who they are and where they sit in the world or where they sit in the industry, that's positioning for me more than anything else. And I have one called audience. It's who do they want to attract? Are they creating content to attract them? And content is a great game of surfacing buying intent, showing your credibility, building up an audience. And a lot of people want to build up their audience. That's why they always go for virality, not for sales when they start off. And the engagement. Do you have a network around you that you could tap into? And to me, engagement is part of the sales funnel in terms of DM conversation that converts. Even commenting, if you comment really well, I had an accountant who just commented and he had less than 200 connections or followers and he was able to find a client.
So
by commenting.
What typically would be a client for you, out of curiosity, someone who has 500 or less connections, or do clients have 10,000 connections and come to you and say they need to
it's mostly people who have want to build up their audience and personal branding, and they usually have a business or a side hustle. I noticed it's they're based on the 50 to 100 members that I have. A lot of them are business owners or consultants, advisors. I notice coaches are always poor, so they're always never last long because they don't know how to convert, or in the first 2 years of the business they don't. It feels like they're a little bit more established in their career or the business that joined me.
And do you help people in different countries, even if they can't speak English, or? No,
because I just hired coaches and they all speak English at the moment. It's Singapore, USA, and Australia. Okay. Those are the 3 places that I convert the best.
And you don't speak Vietnamese, right?
No, even though no, I don't, not fluently.
Okay. And so you said one of the things that founders fail to do is, use LinkedIn better than a resume. But are there any other misconceptions or things that people have of LinkedIn as far as what to use it for? Because I'll just throw out what I think it is. It seems like a place where you're branding yourself professionally so that perhaps, you can get work later down the road, or maybe even branding yourself so that you can potentially launch a startup and you look like a person who could be a successful startup founder, so that maybe VCs will come to you with VCs. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I think VCs are obvious because they want more founders come to them and pitch to them, right?
Yeah.
Andrew Chen, I reckon, probably has a lot of requests to from founders. He was the YC founder, the YC CEO now. He probably gets a lot of inbound, but I reckon I would reach out to him on X because he's active on X more. It's almost to me on LinkedIn, people, if you create content, you get inbound. You don't have to be a resume or job seeker to leverage LinkedIn, because a lot of salespeople are hanging out on there for a reason, because it's access to money. or decision makers.
Mm.
So, but doesn't mean to say decision makers hang out there.
Right.
But what it is, it's better to do. I play the other game where it's inbound. You have to do pull and push. I would play the pull game where it's like you bring people coming to you if you position it well, right?
Right.
And then I get like I get about like 5 inbounds that's filtered and that's proper per week. You know, imagine, and I wouldn't call myself like a viral creator anymore because I started like I'm testing out things so I could like share the data back to my people because most of them won't go viral because they don't have the fundamental skills to go viral. Whereas like I feel like I can, but that's hard to mimic. I need to find like stable ways or like templated ways or like systematic ways for like a 1,000 to 10,000 person can use.
Right.
Or you know, like or 1,000 to 10,000 followers could use. So my 50K is good for credibility's sake, but it doesn't really like the math's not mathing right now because I went viral, but it's viral in India of all places, which is like the worst place. Nothing wrong with Indians, but they're all job seekers or like they're not, and they probably can't afford my prices, to be honest. And I'm very frank about it.
Yeah. One thing that I theorize, or a belief of mine, is that like a company they shouldn't be marketing a lot of product unless the product is good or they haven't refined the product for the market to decide whether or not they want it or not. Well, with people, what if the people just suck? What if the person?
Oh, what do you mean by sucking? Because like I find people interesting, but the content sucks.
What I mean is, there's several different sucks. One is they're unethical. That's one thing. Another one is they're boring. They're just really boring people. Like there's very little interesting about it. But I mean, some of them execute. Some are really good at executing, right? Another one is inconsistency, right? So not necessarily unethical, but they say different things at different times.
Oh, yes, I know what you mean. Like I think you came back to me because I was the LinkedIn branding expert, and then you saw me back into it.
Yeah.
So and I think that's the one door that everyone run with me for.
Yep.
LinkedIn personal branding.
Right.
And the one that, do you see what I mean? That's the one door that everyone knows. If I go off tangent, that's off brand. And that's like when the lack of credibility. So I was very careful not to position myself if you know my story, I have to repeat it constantly to say I'm product or like tech driven. But it's only like you hang out with me do you realize like I'm geeky, super geeky, or very data driven or very analytical, right? But on the front side, people like if you just like, oh, strengths is the best in LinkedIn personal brand, I'm okay with that. Because I have to filter people out when they come from my door anyway. And it's like, are they the right type of person that makes sense for the community? Would they add value to the community? And in terms of ethicalness and stuff like that, the community kind of filters them out for me, not me. So the retention happens based on if they're a good fit to the community or not.
Is one of your goals to get back to a position where you're a top voice, or what'd you say, 1 million or 2 million, something or other?
I already made like one post that made 6 million views, but it didn't convert well.
Oh, I see.
And it was sponsored by LinkedIn anyway, because I'm part of the B2B LinkedIn program run by them directly.
Okay.
So I have like all these like tools and I position myself in a way that even LinkedIn wants to work with me, right? Or when everyone wants to work with me. That's how I position myself. And then like people ask me, how did you get into that position? Because like I have a strong brand equity, like you said. You need to have a strong brand equity. Like in the NFT world, it's like one time they're NFTs and the next trend they're AI things. So they're always trend hopping.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really give them a good reputation within the space because they're always trend hopping. So that doesn't build up brand equity. Okay. Anthony Bourdain, right?
Yes, Bourdain, got it.
Yeah. So he's careful to not bombard restaurants that won't be around for the next 2 years because he knows that if he goes and visits them, they're going to be popular for the next 2 to 5 years. So he tried to like he and his team scouts for like businesses that will be around for ages afterwards because they know once they bring them eyeballs, they're gonna have business forever. Does it make sense? And I think that's what a good brand equity is. Like you have a reputation that perceives you and you generating for the long-term effect. So you being controversial right now might bite you in the ass later. But that's also a good filtering system for you. Does that make sense?
No, it makes it
Because
hard.
you're so like so people who don't think about their reputation or brand equity, and it's a status game. I'm very legit. It's a status game, and status games only works if you play it to your advantage.
Sure.
Because like people at the end of the day, even with AI, I feel like people want to be popular, want money, and they want what else is they want? They want power. Right? That's a status game.
Yeah.
And when you play LinkedIn, technically you're doing it for money and you're doing it for status or power. Like you want influence, right? You want buy-ins with the decision makers.
Right.
And popularity to me like doesn't make sense unless you're converted to sales.
Well, the reason why I was saying people suck, or perhaps, what would be the challenges for somebody like you to help them is because, they always say be authentic. But the fact that someone tells you to be authentic is kind of interesting to me. Like, if you're not already authentic, then how are you going to all of a sudden turn on your authenticity,
It's so, I feel like it's more like an imposter syndrome thing because they don't know how to switch off the mask. Or when they do something new, all these like things that they want to say, they second guess themselves because they never put themselves out there. You don't care, so you don't filter.
Nope.
I have nothing to lose, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I think about it, but I know that like, I'm not gonna lose like my business partners or my clients or my like reputation because like they kind of knew who I was before they even worked with me.
Sure.
So then like so even if I talk about a topic that's like unless it's something like very political, religious and stuff like that, which is usually what I don't usually talk about, they're okay with me, right? But once you add any religious or like anything that triggers emotions or like really strong reactions, and some people aren't prepared for that because they're not willing to stand up for what they believe in. And that's what you're talking about in terms of inauthentic. And I usually think it's because they lack self-awareness more than anything else.
Yeah, I would agree. We've had time together on Clubhouse. I don't know if we've had time outside of that, but every time I get to talk to you, you always make my brain start to go different directions because a lot of the stuff you say is very intelligent. But at the same time, it takes a little bit of me to process, and I almost want to like take down some notes and then go and research a little bit of it or do whatever it is.
Which part do you think is like the one that makes you want to research more?
Well, like because you have it's a very logical explanation of everything, right? It makes sense to me 100%. With that said, you say it so quick that sometimes like my brain is like, oh wow, that's a lot. Like I just like I'm having a little bit of a hard time processing it at that time because I haven't applied it as well, right? Or you actually tell me a lot of things that I'm like, fuck, I should go and do that, right? Or I should do this. But at the same time, like right now in my life, I don't need to do all of that because LinkedIn is not my main, means to survive. Now, with that said, it will become probably important to those, venture capital needs and potentially startup. I'll be honest. One thing that, and sorry to say so much because I want to hear more from you, or I think the listeners do, is I had to redo my whole LinkedIn profile with the CMO position I took on recently because I wanted to make sure it's very clear what the brand is, and how I'm actually playing a part of that brand, and also communicate out to the world. Like I'm not just an SEO, right? I'm definitely, I'm probably better strategically examining someone's whole marketing strategy and all the different channels and guiding them. And on top of that, I'm probably even a better VC or maybe even a better, startup founder. So I had
but you didn't tell that. Because like when you just shared that, like you always position yourself as a marketer, but you never shared that consistently. that's where the brand, and it takes a while for people to realize like, oh, you're a VC. Like it takes people 10 touch points or 2 years to like cement it into their head. So you have to start now. If you're playing the strategic game of VC, you have to like start now, not later. Does that make sense?
Agreed.
That's why I said like, and plus like creation, and I noticed a common challenge for a lot of founders, VCs, like really just smart people, and they know they want to build up their personal brand, is that they don't create space for them to create. Because all the knowledge is here.
Yeah.
Like here, right? And all their stories are here in the heart, but they're scared of showing their heart because they, you know, the inner child doesn't like being rejected or like being judged or being critiqued. And but you have to go through those like go through those motions to like give it alignment. And I feel like that process of creating actually helps you build up your like alignment and your self-awareness and how you want to perceive it. I have like a really smart guy joined recently. He's like been in the space for like leadership development for 10 years and he wants to write books, but his brain, you could see it like it's just like filled with ideas, but because he has it stuck in his head, he has to vomit it out for the first 3 months.
Right.
Just vomit out content because he has to like have that feedback loop to see what resonates. Because maybe the things that he says, like you said, just reminded me like how you communicate. If it's too dense, it will just go over the head.
Right.
So he has a lot of dense information in his head. So he's using personal branding as a vomit process. So he learns how to communicate and see what resonates back. And if you have a strong audience loop, the advantage is like you will get to see what works and what doesn't work. And my advantage is because I have people who paid for my services. So I'm just recycling their content back to them because it's scalable.
Interesting. Now, a couple of questions that were popping into my head for some reason as you were talking about the last couple of questions was like, how did Stream become Stream? Like, you know, I think you talked a little bit about your origin story, but just to kind of at least finish that off today, can you tell us a little bit about like how you just kind of traveled down that path? Because if I'm calling you very intelligent, well, how did you become so intelligent?
So mum was a single mum, illiterate, refugee background from Vietnam, came to Australia. So she believed in the power of education and she had 5 kids. So I was one of 5. And she couldn't afford childcare, but she was super resourceful. So somehow we end up like, she couldn't afford childcare in primary school, but we end up going to the local library. And the librarians never kicked us out because I think we were good kids at least. My brother was playing chess and I was just like reading books and stuff like that and talking to them. And then I was hanging out with Sigmund Freud, reading romance books, and I realized it was like dumb as shit, but it was easy to read. And then I realized like, you know, like dumb content is also what makes it consumable. And people want that, right? And also I was just reading Greek mythologies, and every time the computer was free, I would go on and jump on it because the internet was a fun place for me. So that's where I learned how to hang out on the internet as much as possible. I didn't set up websites or anything like that, but I remember like being curious enough to explore the world through the internet, and I had access to people around the world, and also dumb people as well. Like if you're like parents, make sure your kids have a neutral name or the name that doesn't indicate their gender. Because I write my name as Susie Woozy, and I had all these like creepy guys messaging me. But once I changed my name to Woozy and something that's like a little bit more generic and doesn't indicate my gender, but also because it's like on the very bottom of the list. So if you're A, you'll get picked on first, like, you know, and B. But if you're last and gender neutral, I noticed like my name stopped changing. Oh, like no more creepy messages. So I learned a lot about that. And a lot of people were like, also guys are always looking for green signals. I don't even get creepy messages on LinkedIn.
Okay, good.
You know why? Because like I'm very professional, and I think I had also like a barrier that kind of like says like, oh, I'm not here to talk about dating or whatever, or I think I have a strong aura or something like that. Plus I never give out green signals. So if you're giving green signals, you might get all these like, oh, you're beautiful, those messages. And I noticed that. And if you don't, and I love psychology, so I like was hanging out in the library learning psychology. So that's like in the early beginnings of like being super curious and stuff. But string came along because it's just part of my branding name. Because I was like first one to graduate from university, and my auntie said, you're crazy to leave your 9-to-5 job or stability, because they crave stability. But I kind of knew it didn't make sense to me. So, and plus like my older brother died at that time when I was in my 20s. So that was like a big wake up call to say, hey, you have to live life now. Doesn't make sense for you to do something that you hate. So I had that wake up call really early in my 20s, and because of that, I became like I did like I became an artist on the streets, like called String Stories, and I created all these stories and stuff. And then I jump online to document it, like the Gary V's, like document everything. And for somehow, like I was able to build up audiences because of this String Story, and my handle was String Story, and then the community started calling me String. That taught me the value of branding. When someone gives you a name or remembers you for, that's what they will like. And then everyone started calling me String, and that became my brand. And it's unique enough, like SEO wise or whatever.
Right.
Like it's so like unique. They never met a string around the world, right? Have you met another string?
Nope.
And when I did these like string stories and stuff, got stopped by cops, got stopped by people. I did one in Japan. No one stopped me. But what it was, it's like connecting people, time and place together. And like I became a storyteller online. And then I realized being an artist wasn't fun because I didn't like being poor either.
Right.
So even though I won grants and I had exhibitions around the world and things like that, it wasn't feasible enough. So I realized a gap in knowledge, and then I like got exposed to technology, and I got like I was getting paid in Bitcoin pretty much in the early days. And I used that money. No, I didn't save any. I used that money to travel around the world.
Okay.
So that was my investment.
I see.
And that's how I was able to have a global view, or got exposed to really smart people. And I always recommend, like, even visiting, if you're a smart person that wants to have smarter conversations, you need to go where the smart people is. And San Francisco had like SF had so many smart people in one space. It was great. It blew my mind, right? And that's why like I had that place rent free, and I still talk to that person to this day. It's because like he got exposed. He was like kind of investing in me. It was like, hey, he wanted to expose me to a new way of thinking, a new methodology, and then I realized like, I could be anywhere in the world doing whatever I wanted. And even though I'm in Australia, I feel like I resonate with a lot of Americans a lot because like the way I think about things.
Definitely. You know, I'm going to ask you like 3 or 4 questions after this, but you know how you said I should try to make money off of like that one thing open, or the one door that I have, and it's hard to ask somebody to ask, like, give me money for connecting, because again, it's not my intention. But the way you just described that person who helped you out for free, should that person have asked you for some future, return? Or
I think I did make him money for different ways though. For like network opportunities, or helping him. I helped him out with a few marketing stuff as well, and he helped me out as well. But I think he just likes seeing. I think he also wanted to have more good role models for his daughter.
So you helped out,
like, yeah, or like I guess like in a weird way, I helped out regardless, right? But even if that's the case, like people will get money for referrals as well.
Yeah.
But you have to prompt people to say that as well. Like,
no,
hey, like.
I agree. Yeah.
And sales is hard because like you feel uncomfortable asking it, but but people are okay with frank, transparent conversations about things. Yeah.
No, I mean, I made $100,000 off a Clubhouse, for example.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't make any money from. Oh wait,
oh, really?
I did make money. Like they converted into like the part of my memberships and stuff like that. So,
Mm.
but you know, like I didn't have a strong funnel, but the fact that you made 100K for probably SEO.
The gentleman who was running that company struggled with his Google ads. So he was spending way too much, and he was getting bent over basically by whatever vendor was probably helping him. So in the first month, I was able to reduce it like 75%.
Yeah, but from that one client, but that, so your bread and butter is SEO, but you need to find Google. It sounds like Google Ads was the one that like people are willing to pay money for.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I pivoted around that time to more of a PPC, mindset, because in all honesty, the people who have money are people who pay for ads, or rather, not
Yes,
SEO.
exactly. You
Right.
kind of know, see, like, and I think that's part of the business and positioning.
Yeah.
If you're not thinking about money, then what are you doing it for?
Yeah, agreed. So I went down that path. Unfortunately, I couldn't brand myself, or I didn't build up a large enough portfolio to brag about my PPC skills, even though I know I'm one of the best ones if you just give me a chance. Well, that no one's going to buy that. Well, regardless, I ended up taking on another SEO role just because I just needed to make some money, I guess, and for other reasons. But that role concluded, and then from that point on, I didn't know what to brand myself for a couple of good years. And that's a separate story, and we can talk about that later. It is a very interesting world. I only bring up that story though about the Clubhouse because I think a lot of people wondered why they were spending so many hours on there. When I think about it, well, it's because I made $100,000 in commissions, or whatever, that I did split with another gentleman. But you can monetize it. But I forgot. The other reason why I was bringing that up is because I didn't ask. I never asked anybody for anything at all. Could I have
Why? Why though?
I'm good at a lot of things. And
that's what I said. Yeah, like remember, everyone has a lot of interests, but there's this one door that everyone will always come to you for. And usually it's based on like the 10 conversations that you had last time. And then you just need to maybe document that. And like my one is like personal branding, marketing, VCs. But VCs is not like, unless I position myself as a scout, maybe I would do it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that for now.
Yeah.
But like I do it like for my husband a little bit because like I just like networking with people.
Yeah.
So I just call myself like a scout, and I use him as leverage to access like VCs or startups if I want to play in that world.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean to say like, but you have to like position yourself. There's always this one door that people are willing to pay you for. And if you know that, that's how you brand yourself. And I have to use an analogy because I have so many people very similar. I'm very good at a lot of things. I'm good at a lot of things, but there's always this one door that people is willing to pay to go through that door.
No, it's a great reminder. I mean, if I can say one thing that I'm going to walk away from today, and I hope our listeners do too, is that you got to make sure you focus on that, right? So I think
yes,
that was great. So let me ask a couple, just maybe 3 last questions that are just kind of knock them out, because in all honesty, these are things that are pretty typical. But any of your favorite tools you want to share today that you think have been freaking awesome, and you think other people would benefit from it? Like Neil and what's his name always do this almost every episode of their marketing school, is that they always
I'll go humbly brag that I developed a system within the TGVI, and I think one of the things is that AI. A lot of people write I love my people, but the average creator, I will give them a D mark. Like, and I'm working them to become like at least C or B in terms of like content creation.
Sure.
They don't lack the knowledge. It's just the way they communicate, or like how they create the content to be accessible for the other person to consume. And then when I realized like it, one of the things is like they get stuck, or 2 hours, they probably spend 2 hours on just a piece of draft when they should just push it out. And to me, it's based on a volume game. You only get better through action and volume, right? And then with the TTV AI system, and use like Claude as a backend, you could make it sound like you. So when, at least like if I gave you the template of what works, but then you feed it your voice, your stories, your data points, your like clients, things and stuff like that, it spits out a content that's like sounds like 80% you.
And what was that?
And you spend It's like called, I call it TTV AI system, and the back end is using Claude.
Oh, so you have a framework that you've developed yourself, and
Yes.
then you're leveraging it within Claude.
Yes, my product side had to do it because there's all these cool tools out there. Um, and and then what happens is like I got like really good results,
Hmm.
but they still need to know how to like put content in there, and also so what I did was essentially created a space for them to create content and make it sound like them.
Got it.
And then but there's always like now like I hire coaches and myself to like help them optimize what they need to improve
Hmm.
on.
Hmm.
It's usually the first lines or like the hook lines or
Hmm.
how to, or they try to squish too many ideas in one post.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that happens a lot. That happens a lot. Well, speaking of AI, since you did bring it up, I mean, I was going to bring it up anyway because just it's a part of all of our lives right now. But
Yeah, it's going to increase more. Yes.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, obviously, you know of Claude, and then there's Manus, and then there's obviously the regular.
There's like AI agent NA8 NANT. Like,
I
have you
don't know.
heard of that one?
No, NA. Sorry, could you say that again?
It's 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 called NAN N8, like number 8.
Oh yeah, you can create AI agents, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Have you
saw a
said
video on YouTube and then I
yes?
attempted to follow what that engineer was telling us what to do, but there were so many steps and I can't remember what exactly happened, but I just remember I
Well,
failed.
yeah, I feel like it's still in the early days, but I'm
Yeah.
keeping an eye out on it because like if you have a SOP or something like that, then an AI agent makes sense.
Oh,
But you
100%.
need multiple AI agents to like have a feedback loop.
Yeah.
So you kind of need to set up a Discord or Slack for them to like communicate with each other.
Right, right.
So a lot of people don't know that. It's like, it, it won't be too long before people are running their own business. Like maybe it's only less than maybe it's one person running these, like multiple agents behind them.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's an interview done by what is it, Minnie Ingersoll, who she's the host of LA Venture, which is a Los Angeles venture capital podcast. It's probably my favorite, to be honest. And she was interviewing God, what's his name? He was co-founder of Zillow and a bunch of different travel properties, or sorry, real estate properties. And then he also did some travel stuff as well because he's within that little group of Rich Barton and all that. But he runs a VC out of LA. I think he now is a CEO of another company because they recruited him. But he was talking about this part. Like he was like, you're gonna have multiple agents taking care of multiple tasks in your life because it's just going to be available and you need to leverage it. And it's going to be kind of fascinating at that point because you're going to be able to ideally save a lot more time, right, with travel to.
Yeah, but just to set up, like a lot of people are not system driven, and that's what I realized when I started like doing a lot of workshops with trying to like level up a lot of their thinking about marketing and branding and sales for my people. And I realized like they're not system people or product thinkers. And I'm like, oh, that's the advantage that I have over them. Like they might like take a lot of my marketing things, but I already have like unfair advantage in terms of business, money, network. Like, so I'm not worried about people stealing my content.
Yeah.
And that's one of the concerns is like, oh, what, I don't know how much should I share. It's like, then you don't have like depth, and you're not, well, you're just not deep enough.
Right.
It's like, remember, like, I know if you're a newbie startup, when it's like, oh, I'm scared of pitching you my startup.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have time to, to like steal your idea.
Right,
I'm already
right.
worried about my own stuff.
Right.
But if you're not ready for that, like, to me, that's like they're too early in the journey and they're not ready for like money yet.
Agreed. Agreed. Maybe last question before we do the final three Qs. I always ask guests, kind of like I did on my previous podcast, and educate these three main questions of your hero, a role model, and your favorite food. But one last question related to kind of what we were talking about earlier today or earlier. any last tips you'd like to give people out there that has not already been said? You know, it's stuff that is recycled all the time. You hear all the time on LinkedIn that, you know, is specifically string.
Oh, okay. I feel like LinkedIn is a gold mine, so don't sleep on it. I feel like it's going to be another gold mine for another 10 years, and they just told me they're going to push out more things, and I feel like the algorithm's a bit effed up a little bit because like they're trying to make everyone's forced to use ads. So if you love ads, you do need to get into it because like people will eventually come to you. It's like, how do I do LinkedIn ads?
Sure.
So this is a new wave coming through, and reading between the lines, they want more good content creators, but they also want people to start paying for organic boost now.
No, 100%. I mean, they have to, or rather, that's the way the company makes money.
They have yeah. Well, they make money other ways, but I think they're doing this as a way to like increase the ROI. But I haven't played around with LinkedIn ads to like get the ROI. But at the moment, I'm like getting access to it.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And no, I definitely, it's in the back of my mind. Like I definitely need to enhance my LinkedIn ads skill. But you did make me just realize one question I didn't think of asking, and that is, you know, there's premium services on LinkedIn, right? You know, and I can't remember all of them, but do you think
Sales Navigator?
What's that?
Sales Navigator, yes. Sales Navigator, yes.
So Sales Navigator.
Premium, no. Sales Navigator, yes.
Okay. And why?
Because like you get more data and it's better Boolean search, or Boolean search means like you get more filtered search, and you get to like download list as well.
Okay, because they switched their pricing model, and that's one of the reasons why I went back on premium. Is Sales Navigator also a monthly thing now, or?
Yeah, they've always been on a monthly thing.
Oh, okay, interesting. No,
but it's a separate thing. Premium, it feels like a job seeker thing that has no value.
No, I think I would agree. I would agree because I didn't even think about it. I just thought premium, maybe that will help my posts, or I can't remember what I was thinking.
No, it doesn't make a difference. I noticed.
Interesting. Yeah. No, it was
so like it gives you like different advantages, like URL links, better banners. I'm like,
but not
worth the price.
Not
enough.
Okay, got it. Well, no, those are great thoughts. So thank you on all of those. So the last three questions, as I kind of already, you know, alluded to. So first off, what or who who's your hero?
Winnie the Pooh.
Okay, why Winnie the Pooh?
Because he always finds honey, and he's so zen. It's like he always helps his friends, right? They always go on adventures, and he will do anything for honey, and honey comes to him. Don't you love that?
That's awesome. You I think that's the best answer I've heard so far to that question. You know, we have answers from I don't know to, you know, kind of typical people that we know, and some really fantastic heroes. And you know, not to poo-poo any of the past selections, but Winnie the Pooh, that's great. All right. Well, I'm imagining that Winnie the Pooh is not the answer to the next one, but who's a great role model for us these days? Or do you have any role models that you can think of?
Well, I feel like usually it's our parents, right? We learned a lot from them and the things that we should avoid. So if anything, it's more like our role models are the people who, you know, what we could potentially be if we don't change who we are right now. So there are aspects of our parents that we hate, then that's the bits that you need to work on. If they're like are not ready for retirement, that means that you have to change your retirement plan or build up your financial literacy so you could avoid the same future they have right now.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. No, that's good too. All right, last one's easy, but I'm not going to accept fried chicken. I need you to tell us something besides fried chicken that's one of your favorite foods.
Why not fried chicken? It's like
Because we
not
all know
everyone,
we all know that
No.
of you.
you do, but not everyone.
But
You
you
do.
broadcast that on LinkedIn periodically too, right? So
Yeah, but like for new audience, they don't know that I like fried chicken.
well, okay, then elaborate why you like fried chicken so much.
It's because it's like fun and everyone likes it, and it's like a good homey food when you're feeling like shit. But it's funny. And now like when you see fried chicken, you think of me. And you do. Because I get like when I go to parties or when I go meetings, and if they like me a lot, they always make me eat fried chicken. Or they get fried chicken for me. So I know that like they're part of my homie. It's like a signal to say, oh, I want to be part of your community.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Do you have any favorite brands in Australia?
Korean.
Sorry?
It's more like it's a particular type. I eat fried chicken around the world and I organize fried chicken parties around the world. I think I got up to 50 or 70 at one point. But Korean fried chicken seems to make the best fried chicken.
Oh, really? Okay.
And Taiwan, when they flatten their fried chicken, it's
okay.
fat and flat.
Oh, I did not know that. So something I definitely learned today. Yeah, no. Korean fried chicken definitely has garnered a little bit of a market these days. So
yes,
no,
definitely.
Those are great thoughts around fried chicken. All right, so let's finish today with how we can get a hold of you. Do we just DM you? And then on top of the details of actually reaching out to you, let me ask you, and I forgot to do it with my last guest, what do you need? Like what is something, or what are some things that you need that you'd like to broadcast out to the world? So share both of those if you don't mind. Your contact information.
So I'm looking to hire more smart people or workshop facilitators, like around that I know that would add value to my community. And one thing that I'm doing is thinking of like, how can I, if you need help on LinkedIn, but also if you have like certain specific skill sets around AI, storytelling, SEO, marketing, and sales specifically, I'm looking for like more workshop people, because I'm trying to build up the business where I'm not the bottleneck of my business now, which is what happened last time. So I'm trying to create a community where it's like, it's going to be, if I get pregnant, if I get married, if I want to go on holidays, it runs without me.
Okay.
And that's where I'm right now. So I'm looking for like other facilitators and coaches to join the community right now.
So, and what's the time frame you're thinking? Like, should people apply right now? Should people?
Yeah, they should apply right now, because I have like about 3 or 4 more spots for things for like workshops. But I feel like sales and storytelling, communications, or copywriting are the 2 big ones that I want improvement on.
Okay, and it can be virtual, correct, or no?
Yeah, it's virtual.
Okay.
Doesn't matter where.
Yeah, they don't have to be in Australia. Okay. And so how do people reach out to you? And do you want to do more podcasts, or,
well, I can, but I also like only do it because it's you. Funnily enough. I was actually, it's like, oh, I'm traveling a lot. Things are happening a lot. And I know it's good deal flow and stuff like that. But sometimes it requires energy from me that I'm like, oh, that 2 hours of conversation could be put somewhere else. So I know I'm a very good podcast host, but it has to be worth my time, really. I'm careful about who I hang out with.
Well, I sincerely appreciate it. There's no question about it. And I'm lucky. I don't know what I did to garner your appreciation, or your small allowance of your time with me. But no, I'm very thankful. So thank you for, sharing all your thoughts today and being with us.
If your calendar isn't already set, you're missing out on startup wins. Industry leaders, top advisors, and incredible tips await. Come back for future great episodes and entertaining guests, and come back for more insider strategies and incredible stories from the brightest VCs, founders, and operator experts. We're bringing you the best in the business twice a month. Hit that bell and stay winning with Startup Wins. See you soon.